So, did you know, I wanted to share something with you guys. Did you guys know that the average home has over 300,000 items in it? So we're talking about spring cleaning, okay? That's what we're talking about, right? Did you know that the average home has over 300,000 items in it? And every year, yeah, Heather, I don't know what happened, girl. Everybody's glitched. It's weird. Every year, billions of dollars are spent on storage units just to hold the stuff that we don't even use. And here's the part that got me. Okay? Clutter doesn't just take up space. It actually increases stress and increases anxiety, and it affects your sleep. Did you know that? So if your house is cluttered, if your mind is cluttered, it affects everything. Over half of the people say that they feel overwhelmed by clutter, and most don't even know where to start to fix it. So let me ask you something. Thank you for the heart, me. Let me ask you something. What if your life looks the same way? So think about your life and think about the clutter in your life, and there you go. You got it. All right. So what if your life looks the same way? Think about that for a second. So here's the truth, guys. Sometimes we're okay. We're going to talk about this. Sometimes we're okay with all the good things about being a Christian, right? So yeah, of course, I want to be blessed. I love the peace and the comfort and the identity and the love of our Jesus Christ. And all of that is the really good part of being a Christian. But when it comes to certain areas of our life, we're like, God, don't touch that part. Or, I'll follow you, but just not in that space. Or, that's a no-fly zone. Or maybe even, you can have most of me, but just not this part. That's what we're talking about today, guys. That's the junk in the trunk that we're going to get rid of, is those no-touch zones, right? Those parts that you don't want God to touch. You're okay with the peace. I'm not saying y'all, I'm just in general, okay? I'm not pointing fingers. You're okay with the peace, you're okay with the comfort, you're okay with the blessings, you're okay with the identity, and you're okay with being God's child. But you're not willing to give up the things that you should. And you're telling God, don't touch that part of my life. I'm good. I'm good there. I want to keep that there, right? So some of us don't have a lack of God in our lives, but however, we just have too much stuff in the way. Does that make sense? So some of us have too many things blocking God. It's not that we don't have enough God. It's not that God can't touch us. It's not that God can't get to us. It's not that we don't understand God. We have too much stuff in the way. You cannot ask God. I'm going to have to stand up, guys. You cannot ask God to clean your life. You ready for this? You ready for this? You cannot ask God to clean your life, but then refuse to take out the trash. So, what we're talking about today is spring cleaning. We're taking the junk out of the trunk. That's what I'm calling it because it's fun. That's not what the actual thing says. It doesn't say take the junk out of the trunk. I'm just using those words because it's fun. So, you cannot ask God to clean your life. You cannot ask God for blessings and for all the things if you refuse to take out the trash, right? So 2 Corinthians 7:1 is the scripture base that we're going to use for the moment. I'm bouncing around again, probably. Hold on. I'm trying to make me a stand for my tablet so I don't have to look down. I'm going to totally just throw boxes together. Stay, please. Ha! That worked. Okay. Yeah. Prepare your toes, y'all. Prepare your toes, okay? This is probably going to step on some toes, but that's okay. So, you can ask God to clean your life and then refuse to take out the trash. 2 Corinthians 7:1 says, let us purify ourselves from everything that contaminates body and spirit. Galatians 6:7 says, a man reaps what he sows. Hey, are you thankful? Thank you for coming in. I appreciate you. So 2 Corinthians 7:1 says, let us purify ourselves from everything that contaminates body and spirit. Galatians 6:7 says, a man reaps what he sows. So if we're sowing clutter, we shouldn't be surprised when we're living in chaos. So literally, if what we're sowing is nothing but clutter, thank you, girl. I appreciate you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Literally, if what we're sowing is clutter, then all we're going to get is chaos, right? So some things aren't small, they're poison. That's what we're going to talk about. Sorry, we had somebody saying those that weren't paying attention, and we have somebody telling me to be quiet and that women shouldn't preach and, all the things. So it's okay. He just got muted, that's all. You can stay in the room, though. So some things aren't small, they're actually poison. And I'm going to say this. I'm saying this with delicacy, and I'm saying this with kindness, y'all. You may think it's no big deal, but it is. They all start out as no big deal, and then they suddenly become a big deal. Okay? So something small, very small, can gradually become something poison. We love to say that it's not a big deal, right? Like that you hear of something, like let's say cussing. Let's use that for an example. My son, we're struggling with this with my son right now. He thinks cussing is no big deal. He says he doesn't. He says he has a problem with it. However, he keeps posting stuff with cussing in it, and anyways, it's a thing. So let's say cussing. We'll use that, okay? It's no big deal. It's just a word. Like, it really doesn't mean anything. It's just a word, right? It's just a way of talking. It's just a habit, blah, 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 blah. It's not a big deal. But everything that you allow in your life is either feeding you, so it's feeding your spirit and it's feeding your soul, or it's poisoning you. There's no neutral. It's either good or bad, right? So it's either good or it's bad. It's feeding you or it's poisoning you. You pick which one. So what you entertain, you give access to. So again, feeding you, poisoning you. Whatever you entertain, you're giving access to. If you entertain something, i.e., we're using cussing as an example. If you entertain something by cussing, like constantly, whatever, saying cuss words, you're inviting. And what you invite, you give permission to stay. Yes, Lisa. Exactly, girl. Exactly. So what you invite, you give permission to stay. Some of us are asking God to fix things, but we're still holding on to the very thing that he told us to remove. So I'm going to use a different example. Cussing is kind of hard for this example specifically, but I want to use a different example. So one of the things that my husband and I decided on, and we still struggle with this because it was something we were passionate, or not, passionate is probably not the right word, something we enjoyed, is watching things that were paranormal. Like, we liked watching ghost hunters, and we liked watching, like horror movies and things like that. Hey, welcome in. We liked all those things. So for us, we decided to give that up because, again, it's either feeding your soul or it's poisoning you. Pick which one. What do you think paranormal is doing? If you're watching shows about ghosts and demons and all those things, right? What do you think that's doing for your soul? It's probably not feeding it, right? You're good, Tanya. No worries, girl. Probably not feeding it. So we had decided to let that go. Because what you entertain, like we're saying, what you entertain, you invite in, right? What you invite, you give permission to stay. So you're inviting in that stuff into your life when you're entertaining it, when you're watching it, when you're engrossed in it, like you entertain that and you're inviting that in. And like I said, some of us are asking God to fix things, but we're still holding on the very thing that he told us to remove, right? So, hey, Tina, welcome in. Chris, I see you. Chris and Chris, I see you, girl. I feel you. We struggled. So, hey, Tina. So letting go of like horror movies, the show that Alan and I really both like to watch, and he can attest to this. We really like to watch The Witcher. I thought the show was really good. I mean, besides the ORGY at the beginning of the show, it was a good show. I liked the storyline. I liked knowing, oh my gosh, what's gonna happen next, and you know, how's this going to work and how's that going to work? And I was really into the story. And we watched the last season that had been done. Like 2 years ago, I guess it was. I think I don't remember, but we watched it, and then we were like, okay, we need to stop. We got to stop watching it because it's not of God, you know, like it's not feeding our soul. It's poisoning us more than it's feeding us. And we've gone back and forth on this. Like, we've talked about it because there's a new season out there and we're really tempted to watch it. And I'm like, I'm tempted to watch it. I want to watch it because I want to know what's going to happen in the storyline. But I know that that's not what God wants me to do. I know that's not feeding my soul. So I'm stepping away from it. I'm saying, no, I'm not going to watch it. Here's another thing that I had to give up. I still struggle with wanting to smoke. Like, I smoked cigarettes for 20 years. I vaped for a while. I missed vaping. I missed vaping more than I missed smoking because vaping was at least relatively enjoyable and you could pretty much do it anywhere. I miss that and I still struggle with that. I still think about it every now and then. I'm like, oh, that would be so nice to have that right now. And again, though, it wasn't feeding me. It was poisoning me. Quite literally, it was poisoning me, right? So now I want to talk about Paul's cleaning list. So there was, in Ephesians 4:25, Paul had a cleaning list that he gave us. This is like my favorite part of this, okay? Because Paul doesn't just give us, doesn't tell us to be better. He gives us a cleaning list. Literally gives us a list, okay? And it's not about rules, guys. This is not about don't do this, don't do that, do this. Like, it's not about legalism. It's not about any of that. It's about following what God calls you to do. So if you don't feel convicted that you're listening to gangster rap that's talking about unaliving people and having relationships with people and people's body parts and things like that, if you don't feel convicted listening to that, hey, that is not my place. That is up to you and God. That is between you and God. But if you're feeling convicted listening to something, this is for you. This is what we're talking about. Cleaning the junk out of your trunk. So look, he gives us a cleaning list. Not a list of rules necessarily. It's about transformation. It's about growing in our relationship with God. And this, I'm telling you guys, this is where Alan and I, and he can attest to it if he's driving, so he probably can't. But he can attest to it. This is where we shifted. When we started looking at the things in our life and started taking out things that we knew weren't of God, our entire life shifted. And I'm telling you, I am extremely grateful that we made that choice. It was a hard choice. And I think we just started with music. I think really honestly that was our first step, was getting rid of secular music and just listening to Christian music. Christian rock, Christian pop, Christian country, whatever. We switched from listening to secular to just Christian, and all the difference was made for us. And that was like that was step one, you know? So Ephesians 4:25 says, 4:25 plus, like 25 and on. So thank you guys. Thanks for loving on my friends. Sorry, I'm not paying attention. I'm talking, and we don't have very many people in here anyway, so it's okay. So here's a list, right? So he says, first, put off lying and put on honesty. So be honest, because you can't walk in freedom while living in falsehood. So literally, like, it's that simple. Be honest. That's your first step. First step. Step one. Be honest. Put off lying. Put on honesty. And let me just tell you guys this. Lying is such a dangerous thing to get into. It is so dangerous because it literally goes from like one little, no big deal, small little lie, right? Little white lie. And then it gets bigger and it gets bigger and it gets bigger and it gets bigger and it's bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger until the point that you believe the lie that you've been telling everybody else. And I can tell you this from experience. I have done that. You get to the point where you're like, was that really, like, that really did happen, didn't it? And you don't know if it happened or not because you've been lying about it for so long, right? Lying is so dangerous. Put off lying and put on honesty instead. So put off uncontrolled anger. Y'all hear that? You got your toes ready? Put off uncontrolled anger and put on self-control instead. This is in Ephesians 4:25, guys. 4:25 plus, because it's more than just one verse. Put off uncontrolled anger and put on self-control. So be angry, right? It's okay to be angry. Like, Everybody gets angry. It's an emotion. It happens. It is what it is. But don't sin because you're angry. Don't cuss at somebody. Don't, hit somebody. Don't mistreat somebody. Don't, whatever it is. Don't sin just because you're angry. That's what makes the difference between being angry and sinning. Does that make sense? Your feelings aren't the problem. The feeling of being angry isn't the problem. It's what you do with those feelings that's the issue. So, for example, when I was mad at my supervisor, y'all were here for that supervisor thing. Most of you guys were. When I was mad at my supervisor, if I called her a B word, which I did, that was sinning. That's when it went from just being angry into sin. Does that make sense? So, next is put off selfishness.
God bless you, sister.
Thank you, Tony. It's good to see you, sir. Put off selfishness. Put off selfishness and put on generosity. So, work, guys. Work. And not just for yourselves, okay? Selfishness, not just for yourselves, not just so you can make money, not just because, the more you work, the more you're going to get out of life, blah, 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 blah. You want the next big thing and the yacht and the house. And Kevin, what's up, sir? Welcome in. Work, not just for yourselves, but so you can give to others, so you can help others out. If you really, really, really want to clean up your life, guys, seriously, basis right here. If you really want to clean up your life, choose generosity. Stop thinking about you and what you can do for you and what me, myself, and I can do, and start thinking about others. You really want to clean up your life, that's the best way to do it. Kevin, thank you for all the populars. I miss you, sir. I hope you're doing good. I need to get in your room. Dang it, Kevin. Why? Why do I keep forgetting to come find you? It's good to see you, sir. If you guys don't know Kevin, the Jesus freak, he's awesome. He really does do a good Bible study every day. So he's really good. Gotcha, babe. Next is put off tearing people down. Mackenzie, thank you, girl, for loving on my friends. I appreciate you. Put off tearing people down. You guys hear me? Put off tearing people down. I need to do this with him because when I get mad at him, that's what I want to do. I want to tear him down. I say mean things to him when I shouldn't. Put off tearing people down. Put on words instead that build up. So before you speak, ask, is this building that person or is it breaking them? These are the things that, guys, if you take these steps, you can clean the junk out of your trunk. Like, it's steps to take away the things that are making your life chaotic and hard and put them towards God instead, which is going to make your life peaceful and good and easier. I hope this makes sense. I keep saying, does that make sense? Because I'm like, not sure if I'm making sense to y'all, but I'm hoping so. So put off tearing people down, put on words that build up instead. Hey, faithful teacher, welcome in. Thank you for the heart me. Before you speak, ask, is this building or is this breaking that person that you're speaking to? Put off bitterness. Y'all, bitterness is the worst. Bitterness does so much damage. We're actually going to do a whole series on bitterness. I plan on it because it is such a powerful thing in our society that is just unaliving people. Seriously. Put off bitterness. Put on forgiveness instead. Forgive people. Y'all hear that? Forgive people. Forgive them. Forgive people instead of living in bitterness. And I am pointing this back at me 1000% because I have about 5 people that I still need to forgive. Are you coming from love is a good question. Yes, I love that, Kevin the Jesus Freak. That's perfect, Kevin. I love that. Are you coming from love? Hey, Olivia. Well, I forgive you. Forgive you for what? I ain't got nothing to forgive you for. Welcome in, Olivia. Hey, girl. Hey. Put off bitterness is what we're talking about. So put off bitterness and put on forgiveness instead. So forgive people, guys. Instead of living in bitterness, you have to forgive them, because bitterness doesn't just sit in your life. It spreads. I did, Kevin. I did. I have an agency all of my own. It's called Covered and Called. Thank you for the congrats. I appreciate you, sir. Bitterness doesn't just sit in your life, guys. I'm going to say this again and again and again and again and again. Bitterness is the root of so many problems in this world. So many problems in your life probably stem from bitterness, and you don't even realize it. It spreads all throughout your life, okay? This isn't just a list of things to do, guys, that Paul gave us in this book. What was it? Oh, shoot. I just drew blank. Ephesians 4:25. I started to say Exodus, and I'm like, nope, I don't think so. Okay, Kevin. I will, sir. I will, for sure. I'm screenshotting that so I don't forget. I would love that. That would be awesome. I'll send you a message and we'll see what we can do. So, where did I lost it? Okay, so this isn't just a list of things to do. This is an invitation. Hey, Tammy Jean. Welcome in, sweetheart. How are you? Ah, that corgi booty. Thank you, Olivia. I appreciate you. Oh, another one. Oh, I forgot there's more than one for this now. Oh, man. I'm going to have to, like, it's just two, right? Okay, good. Like, I'll have to end up shaking my booty off. Thank you for the corgis, girl. I appreciate you. So, the list that Paul gives us, it's an invitation. Hey, Nicole, welcome in. It's an invitation to let God completely renew your life. It's not just, like I said, it's not just a list. It's not just, hey, do this, do this, do this, do this, do this. It's a guide to completely renew your life. Here's our next point. You can't fill what's already been filled, right? So some of us are asking God to pour into us. We've talked about this already. Some of us are asking God, hey, do this, do this, do this. Like, fill me, do this for me, right? But there's no room. There's no room for God to do those things for you because you're already full. You're full of fear. You're full of distractions. You're full of old habits. You're full of unresolved hurt, AAA, bitterness, like we said just a minute ago, AKA, right? And God is saying, I want to do something new. I want to give you this thing, but you have to let go of the old first. Isaiah 43, 18 to 19 says, forget the former things. I'm doing a new thing. So he's like, hello. Psh, forget the past. I'm moving on. Right? Forget the former things. I'm doing a new thing. Do you think we can do that? Okay, I'm going to pause here. Is any of these things, like, sticking to one of you guys? Does anybody have, like, one of these? Let me read back through them really fast. The things that Paul says to do in Ephesians 4:25 is put off lying and put on honesty. Put off uncontrolled anger and put on self-control. Put off selfishness and put on generosity. Put off tearing down people and instead put on words that build up. Put off bitterness and put on forgiveness instead. Does any of those fit for you? For me, the bitterness is hard. That is one. And then tearing people down. Especially when I'm angry. Those are all a daily challenge, right, Tanya? Right. I think almost all of them are, yes. I mean, I've gotten pretty good. Lying isn't so hard for me anymore like it used to be. It used to be like all the time. Anger is sometimes hard. Yeah, I agree. They're all like a daily checklist, right? It's all a daily challenge. So, if you don't sit down the things of the past, if you don't sit down the old habits, the things that are already filling you up, if you don't let go of those things, then God can't come in. He can't fill you if you're already full, right? Because cleaning requires action. You guys ready? Cleaning requires action. So, you don't sit down and clean and the house cleans itself, right? You don't just go, I'm not going to do anything. The house is going to clean itself. That's not how it works, right? You get up You remove things, you make intentional decisions, you get rid of stuff. Y'all, I have literally piles around my house of, hey, this needs to go in the trash, or this needs to go in the yard sale. Like, not all around my house, but I have piles, okay, of things that I need to get rid of, or things I need to go through, or totes of stuff that we haven't looked at in like 5 years. You can ask my husband, he will attest to this. You remove things and you make intentional decisions. So when you're cleaning your house, you actually do something to clean your house, right? Spiritually, do you do that spiritually? If you don't, that's the problem. It's the same thing. It's literally the same thing. Am I connecting with y'all? Are you guys listening? Are you guys hearing this? What is one thing that you know that God has been telling you to let go of? Can you guys tell me one thing that you know that God has been telling you to let go of? Tony, that is the wrong take from this lesson, sir. Trusting him, yes, Becca. Food addiction. Hey, Lisa, as I'm sitting here stuffing my face, I get you, girl.
I know, that was funny. I just thought that was funny. I wish I had a house that would clean itself.
I know. I was like, wait, that's the wrong lesson. We weren't talking about that.
I know. It was off the
off the cuff. I got you. I laughed. I knew you were just being ornery. That was good. All right. So here's a reflection, guys. Let's talk about this for a second. Ask yourself this. What am I holding on to that I shouldn't? Ooh, that's good. And God just went beep, 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 poked me in the head and was like, hello. You know what you're holding on to that you shouldn't. What have I been excusing? So there's another question. What have I been excusing? What keeps draining me? This isn't about shame, guys. It's about freedom. It's about cleaning up your life. It's about getting rid of the chaos, the clutter in your brain, the fear, the anxiety, the things that aren't of God that are filling you up. Toss them. Let's get rid of them. Let's get rid of the things that are influencing them. So, and I think we're going to talk about this further on in the week too. Fear and anxiety and frustration and things like that can come from more than just traumas. It can come from more than just, my job sucked today, so I'm, frustrated. It can start with a cluttered spiritual mind. Does that make sense? So like if you're, let me just put it this way. I'm going to use me as an example, okay? So if I have my husband, I love you, babe, don't get mad at me if you're listening. If I have my husband complaining to me and blah, 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 and then Jacob's complaining to me and blah, 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 and then Matthew's complaining to me and I had a hard day at work and all of that just negative being thrown at me, okay? Guess what's going to happen? I'm not going to be a happy person. I'm going to be a mad person. I'm going to be a frustrated person. I'm going to be aggravated. I'm going to be, that's literally what I do. I get overwhelmed and I'm like, legitly. Yeah, well, that's true. Yeah, that's true. So think about it this way. If all that you're putting in to yourself spiritually is negative, is bad, is, let's say, I tell my boys this all the time. If all you're doing is watching video games that are shooting people or beating people up or yelling and screaming, guess what? That's what you're focused on, and that's what you're going to feel the most. That's what your mind is going to be cluttered with, is the bad, right? So if all you're listening to is secular music and it's like, oh, drugs and blah, 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 and this person cheated on this person and that person, has a big booty and, on all the things that we shouldn't be focusing on. If that's all you're listening to, that's influencing you spiritually. If all you're watching on TV is the terrible news that's part of this world right now, that's going to be influencing you spiritually. You're filling your mind and your body with fear and anxiety and frustration and chaos and confusion and things like that because of what you're taking in, because of what you're allowing what you're entertaining, as we said in the back previously in the discussion, what you're entertaining also affects you spiritually. But there's also the traumas. There's the things that happen, like Mackenzie said, holding on to traumas, right? Yeah. No, you're right. Lisa, I get that. I do get that. So what are you holding on to that you shouldn't be? What have you been excusing? We were excusing watching a TV show that we knew we shouldn't watch. My husband and I were. Because we were like, we really want to see it. It's just, it's a good movie. It's okay. It's okay to watch it. It's good. It's not really evil. It's more fantasy. Like we kept saying that, right? So what are you excusing that that God is telling you that he wants you to let go of? What keeps draining you? What's pulling your spiritual life down? Like what's that negative that's being poured into you? It's not about shame, it's about freedom, okay? So we get cluttered, we get frustrated, we get overwhelmed, especially in this world with the internet constantly, people picking at us, people saying things they shouldn't say. We have so many things coming at us at one time, especially as Christians in a world that is full of sin right now. And it is getting more and more rampant. But we don't need, it's not that we need a new life. It's not that we need to run away from the world. It's not that we need to close our doors and just, shut everything down. We don't need that. What we need to do is we need to clean up the life that we have. We need to make sure that our brain and our life is not cluttered with the chaos. It's not cluttered with the fear and the anxiety and the frustrations and all the things. Clean it up. Get rid of it. Focus on generosity. Focus on truth. Focus on kindness. Focus on whatever were the other ones. I'm going to go back because I don't remember them. Focus on honesty. Focus on self-control, generosity, and things that build people up, not tearing people down. And focus on forgiveness, not bitterness. Bitterness is so bad. We're totally going to do a whole thing with that. I'm going to wrap this really quick and then we can chit-chat and hang out and whatever. So it's not about being perfect. This is not like, it's not a checklist that you have to do all these things, right? It's not a do this or else. That's not what this is. It's not about being perfect. It's about being anchored in the truth of God, right? The truth is, if you take that negative thing, i.e. lying, and you turn it to honesty, you turn something negative to God, you're cleaning up your life, right? Some things in your life don't necessarily need to be managed. They don't need to be like, oh, well, I can handle this. Or, oh, well, it's not that bad. It's not that big of a deal. No. They need to be removed. They need to be taken out. They need to be examined, looked at, and said, okay, this is a problem for me because this is not feeding me. This is poisoning me, not feeding me. Find one of those things. Start small. Like literally we started with music. That was what we started with. Like I said, start small. Pick something that you know is not of God, that is in your life, and get rid of it. One step at a time. During Christmas time, when my kids were younger, I would always make them try to get rid of toys before we got new toys, so we had room because, good Lord, these children had way too many toys. So I used to make them go through and get rid of toys. And of course, when they're little, like, oh, I don't want to get rid of toys, oh, they're mine, whatever. It was a big deal. So I learned that if I had them get rid of one toy a day for 30 days, that got rid of 30 toys. They each had to agree on one toy a day, and then they got rid of 30 toys. And that was so much easier to take it in that small little morsel, right? Small bit, one step, just one. So pick one thing today. I want you to right now, this is a call to action. God is putting this on my soul, on my heart, so we're doing this. I want you to think of something, one thing in your life right now that God is telling you to get rid of. Or God is saying, look, this is not helping you. This is hurting you. Take that thing, and I want you to picture it. And I want you to get rid of it. Put it in a donation box. Return to sender. You don't want it anymore, right? You're throwing it away. Get rid of it. Make the choice right now to say, I'm done. I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not falling for this anymore. I'm not going to let this affect me anymore. I'm not going to let it continue to poison my body anymore, and my mind, and my spirit, and my soul. I'm done. Find one thing. It doesn't have to be giant. It doesn't have to be, oh, I'm going to get rid of my whole entire, I don't know, I can't think, Ouija board collection or something. Dude, if you got a Ouija board collection, get rid of it. Seriously, though. But it doesn't have to be giant. Like, one small thing, whatever it is, it will be one of the most freeing things you do. Yes, Heather, exactly. One small thing. Start with one thing. Do it for a week. Do it for 2 weeks. Whatever it is that you need to, however long you need to do to get rid of that one thing until you are comfortable with it, move on to something else. Literally, Alan and I, like I said, we switched from secular music to Christian only. We said no more secular music in the house. That was one thing. What the heck? AI summary says, discussing the pros and cons of the Junkrat hero in Overwatch. What? Anyways, pick one thing. I'm calling y'all. I'm saying right now, point to all 9 of you guys in this room. Find something. Anybody watching on the FYP, find something to get rid of. One thing, okay? All right, let's say a prayer. We're going to end it with a prayer, and then we're going to hang out. All right, Heather, I love you, girl. Thank you for hanging out. Hey, all right, dear Heavenly Father, we come to you honest. We come to you with our hearts open, and our minds open, and our spirits open, and our souls open, and ready to clean house, Lord. You see the clutter that's in our lives and the things that we've held on to, the things that we've justified, the things that we've ignored and said, it's okay. Give us the strength to let go of those things, Lord. Help us not just recognize it, but release it completely. Clean our hearts, clean our minds, clean our lives, and make room for your peace, your presence, and your purpose. In Jesus' name, I pray these things. Amen.